Good day, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Nate, and this is BMS 4.33. Today we're going to have a quick look at the MiG29 4.33. It's the only Red 4 plane that's been made so far, and I'm actually quite interested in it. I took it out for a few rides yesterday, learned a little bit about it, but let's have a quick look at the arms and munitions first, shall we first? First, I'd like to go off by saying it is a simplified model, but the cockpit is fully modeled. So it's got a startup procedure, but it's still obviously it's still an F-16 cockpit. Everything still is, but it's done in such a way that it looks just like a MiG-29, or as much as possible. So let's go to loadout first. The MiG-29 is primarily probably going to be an air-to-air aircraft. It's got a pair of what we like to call R-27s, the A version, the B version. The A version is the infrared. Sorry, correction. The A version is the radar version, and the B version is the radar version. These are long-range missiles. And the A11, which I call the R27, sorry, the R73, which is a medium-range infrared missile. You can see it on this hard point here. Oh, sorry, there we go. And on the outboard edge, we have the A8, which is the R60, which is a short-range missile. Now, this is much inferior to the Sidewinder. The AA-11 is a medium range, that is to say 20 nautical mile infrared missile, but you probably want to launching it a little bit closer because anything, I mean, at that range, it's not going to hit very well. Overall, because this is an export model aircraft and it's using the original versions, like the A and B versions of those missiles, these are inferior to everything that the Blue 4, the south side, has to offer. A lot of time you will be at a massive disadvantage. I certainly got shot down quite a few times yesterday trying to work this out. That's just inevitable because you're up against the latest F-16s. If you're playing against the KF-16s with the AMRAAM-C models, that's just the unfortunate case. You do also have access to Fab 100s, which is the 100 kilo bomb, 250 kilo bomb, 250 and 500. You see there, these are cluster bombs, the S-24 rockets, and a rocket pod for the 32mm rockets, and there's small bombs as well. None of these are laser guided. Again, this is a export model MiG-29. It doesn't have, well, that and it's North Korean. It doesn't have access to any of the high-tech stuff. It doesn't have TGP. It doesn't have a laser guider. You're going to be using it most of your day. If you felt like using visual bombing with CCRP, CCIP, that's sure, go ahead, try for it. It's probably going to be a little bit difficult because you have to eyeball it, and also you're at a massive disadvantage in the air. So I think maybe in group play, this might see some use if you had a group of people to play with. Certainly would be quite fun, I think, in the campaign. There is one small catch to this aircraft, as far as campaign goes. It doesn't have AWACS support. Because North Korea, I suspect, I mean, I might be doing it wrong. Maybe I've got my radio set up wrong. Maybe the red side has different radio setup. I don't know. But as soon as I tune into the guard channel and I try to get AWACS support, nothing happens. You can rescue request an evac chopper, but you will get a vector from the ground, I believe, ground radar, because I was getting a vectors from some station calling me to go to this heading, track this target. So maybe it's modeled that just as a theory, my best guess, the ground radar is modeled, and you're getting your things from ground, but you can't request anything. You're just being told constantly bullseye information for targets and vectors to targets, which is a bit difficult. Not to mention the MiG-29 doesn't have Nardurar. But anyways, we'll go through all that later. So right now, I'm just going to cut the video and we'll jump to the cockpit. Alright guys, welcome to North Korea. This is the MiG-29's cockpit. I'm just going to get rolling very quickly. I believe the airbase is actually under attack. First thing you might notice is that everything is in Russian. So it's obviously accurate as far as that aspect goes, but not so practical for anyone of us who wants to fly it using English. The manual for the cockpit diagram is in the BMS folder. If you go to your BMS folder, I think it's on documentation and then others or something. But there's one called Cockpit Diagrams, and that gives you where all the things are. I'm not going to go through it with you because you can just do that yourselves. It's like a 2-page PDF document with just labels and stuff. But I can tell you now all the power stuff for starting up is on the right-hand side here. Your air-to-ground mode is here. All your chaff flare and ECM stuff is all on this panel here. Parking, emergency parking brake, brake handle, You only have one FCR, and that's a bit of a bummer. But you can live with that. Given the fact that you don't have a TGP, you don't really need. Chances are you're going to be doing only CCIP, CCRP for air-to-ground mode. One MFE is probably fine. Your RCAN is now a DED. If I switch to the guard channels, let me just zoom in quick. If I switch to the guard channel, if I go up, I will go to uniform. I got to return. Okay, if I go up to the uniform 13, which is normally box return, uniform 13. Now that's the guard. That is supposed to be the guard channel. If I hit enter, if I call up the AWACS, that's nothing. I can't call anything. I can't do anything. But you can hear obviously the other guard channel being filled with other traffic information. So it is, I suspect, the correct channel, but we don't have AWACS. So a lot of time, as I said before, you're just gonna get calls from a ground station saying a bearing and a vector, or a bullseye reference, and you have to go figure that out. Which on one MFD is sometimes kind of irritating because you kind of want to have maybe your FCR on and your HSD, but such is life in a MIG29A. The RWR is in fact an actual RWR taken from M16, so you can get displays. I mean, that's a little bit unrealistic. If you fly the MiG29 in DCS, you'll know that this only gives you direction, no distance. This actually gives you a pictograph reference, which is nice. But otherwise, everything works. There is a startup procedure, which is of course included in the 2-page manual. The only complaint I have is that the throttle, if I'm powering up and down, you can see, doesn't actually move. Other than that, it's a fun bit of aircraft to fly. Maybe good with some friends. You remember, bear in mind, you are going to be kind of an inferior fighter model to the NATO fighters out there, the F-16s, the F-18, the F-16, and the F-15. But it's a bit of fun. And if you want a change of something in the cockpit, then maybe this is for you. If you want a challenge, this is definitely for you. And yeah, but it's just nice to see another cockpit in the north. I'm really hoping at some point we get more fighters from the northern side, and maybe modernized fighters, preferably, so we can maybe get some red versus blue with the appropriate fighters rather than just the blue on blue F-16 all the time. I'm really hoping for an MLD. I would have absolutely loved an MiG-23 MLD, and that would be very cool for me. But I suspect that might be very long in the works, or would never happen. With the air-to-air, I'm just using, again, the toggle, but you can use the switch over here, which, yeah, you can see there, nav, yeah, all that stuff, so that works. Everything works. What I cannot tell you is whether or not that the labels in Russian are appropriate to the English function that we've given them. Chances are it's probably not. But I can't tell you that for sure because I can't speak Russian. Well, that's it for me today, guys. I will try and do another aircraft sometime later this afternoon when I'm a little bit free. And I think I might try and do the Phantom or something else. But I'll definitely keep you guys up to date with the stuff I'm doing. And I'll try to revise the information as soon as I get more into the aircraft. I do have a Tornado video I'm going to make later on. Because I've been flying that now for maybe a week. I've been flying the Tornado pretty much non-stop. And I'm very keen on using that. So